baby. We're doing it. Episode 12. My first, Brady Matthews. I'm with a good friend of mine, comedian, radio DJ, Brian Moote.
I wish I was more DJ than I am. I get jealous of the DJs. We have them at DJ Vice, DJ Majestic at AMP.
DJ Majestic?
Majestic, yeah. But they get to do way more fun stuff. Like, we just get to crack jokes and goof around, but then they'll do these crazy club nights. They're all going to Coachella and, like, playing the AMP house.
Right.
And then we'll ask stuff like, hey, can we go to the AMP house? And they're like, what are you going to do? Just sit around and, like, tell jokes?
Yeah, DJ Moote.
Just going to hit that horn.
If you could have a DJ name that you could come up with on the spot, what would your DJ name be?
Oh, dude.
DJ Butterfinger?
That just sounds creepy.
That's pretty good.
I think someone wanted me. For some reason, on the text line one day, people just kept giving me like rap names, and Wu-Tang Clan was like my favorite.
Ooh, I do like Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang Clan. I feel like I go by DJ Wu-Tang. I think people. And I do the graphics so similar to Wu-Tang. It'd be such a knockoff where I would just hope that people would just think it's going to be the RZA doing something. It's not. It's just me.
You should make merch.
Wu-Tang Clan?
Yeah, dude.
I know. I got bumper stickers and like.
Bro, you tour enough with comedy. Why don't you just pull out some merch?
Wu-Tang Clan.
Dude, I'll sell like stuff of my art, and people are like, "Aren't you a comedian?" I'm like, "Listen, guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm a fucking carny at this point. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but if you want to play darts with me,
yeah,
you're welcome to do that too.
Buy me some beers afterwards. Thanks for doing the podcast, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me down here. I like this. The little studio is like it's kind of hidden.
Dude, they do isn't it an open mic, Paul? They do an open mic in here. Yeah, like stages right here. They move all this shit. Yeah.
That's amazing.
This is so New York, dude. This is New York and Koreatown.
Dude, yeah, I think Boston was I did some bad open mics in New York in terms of like the room.
Oh,
it was always kind of fun, but we did this one in Boston at this ice cream shop, and it was a 4 o'clock open mic, and there was kids generally in
4
there.
4 o'clock open mic?
4 o'clock open mic at Harold's Ice Creamery.
You ever done a laundromat?
In Boston. I've done one laundromat. That was in New York. Like, it was like the suds and laughs.
Oh, it's
suds
terrible.
And jokes.
Wait, so you're doing it at the
ice cream shop, and then we did it for like 2 months, and then they were like, no cursing. And then this guy, Sean Donovan, went up and did like this crazy Holocaust joke. And he's like, in the ice cream shop, they shut down the mic immediately. They were like, nope, we're done. We're done. And he goes, I didn't curse. And he goes, you still can't do Holocaust jokes.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's clean. Like,
yeah.
You can't. What are you doing?
What's wrong with just, a clean Holocaust joke?
That's what we were trying to ask the ice cream shop owner, and he pointed out to us when 9-year-olds are eating sprinkles on their ice cream, we got to keep the Adolf Hitler references out of them.
Dude, that's hilarious. It's awful, but that's hilarious.
Censorship.
Wait, do you find it hard doing because you work at 97.1 AM radio or AM radio?
AMP.
Yeah, okay, AMP. Do you find it hard to come up with clean material like Monday through Friday? You work Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday?
Yeah, Monday through Friday. We are 6 to 10 every day. I think for me, the switch, the only thing that is difficult is learning how to communicate to the different demographics.
Right.
And then I've noticed that my stand-up gets dirtier. As I
because you have to do all clean stuff and you can't swear.
No. And we're immersing ourselves in top 40 demographic 18 to 34 women and kids, so you find yourself saying stuff that you want to punch yourself in the face for, like, oh yeah, that's gonna be lit this weekend. Like, oh, why did I do that? Stop saying things. You're talking
in abbreviations.
Oh my god.
So
yeah.
You're saying like OMG, LOL.
Yeah.
Hashtag that's not funny.
Right. Or like Avo toast. I'm like, what are you doing? That is not, like, you mock those human beings.
Is that avocado toast?
Yeah, it is.
I didn't even know that. I don't know why I'm looking at the camera like someone's there.
I think it's because people are judging, like, dude, of course it's avocado toast.
Right.
So that's the thing that I struggle with. Cursing is not so much, though.
Do you curse and then have to censor yourself real quick?
If we do, yeah, you got to hit the dump button.
Do you get in trouble?
If the FCC catches you, you get like a $10,000 fine for your first if somebody's really offended.
I mean, are they really still checking the radio that much? Because I know everything's so much with satellite now, right?
Well, here's the thing. Radio's gotten a little bit more complicated in terms of, like 5 years ago, radio was taking just a kick in the nuts because of podcasting and because of satellite. And now the thing is that radio, unlike, and I don't know if it's like that for TV, but I think TV's doing this too. They're just all merging now. It's all the same people that run everything.
Totally.
It's just, you think you're doing something different. I had this argument with someone the other day, and they're like, radio's dying. And I'm like, here's the problem. Radio is now buying up all these app services. And so the podcasts you listen to, can also be found on the same app as your favorite morning show.
Sure.
And we get ratings now on digital numbers as well.
Which also helps tremendously, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's, we have listeners all over the country. Someone will text in, and I'm like, the 615 is like from Nashville? What? And they're like, yeah, we found you on, the radio.com app or Spotify. Like, Spotify is now doing all that stuff, too. So
yeah.
I think at some point, the great part is, I think it's going to go the other direction, too, where I know I've been working on this project with AMP, doing an HD2 signal in LA where podcasts also license over to radio.
Yeah.
So then you take like a 45-minute show and you put it over on radio on an FM2 signal. And then it's just another way to monetize something you've already done.
Totally.
Which is, I think, the genius part of both digital and terrestrial radio is that once you take a podcast and put it on like an FM2 signal, you've already made money on it in one platform. Now you're just repurposing it on another.
That's pretty cool.
So it's.
Do you get more residuals with that, or do you get extra pay for that?
You would get extra pay in terms of advertising money.
How is it in terms of pay with a DJ? Do you make a lot of money doing it?
Yeah, if your ratings are big, you make a ton.
Because I know your radio station, AMP Radio 97.1, is one of the main stations that people listen to out here. I listen to 92.3 because my girlfriend's ghetto as fuck. So
the real or like Big Boy's
dude,
neighborhood.
It's the worst. All they play is like Biggie, Tupac, and then now they're playing all Nipsey Hussle, who I didn't even know the fuck was.
To be
because
fair,
I'm white
man,
as fuck.
To be fair, I would be so down to play when we play throwbacks like Mo Money, Mo Problems, or Hypnotize or something. Or anything by Nelly. I'm like, oh, there we go. And then they go back to Post Malone, and I'm like, all right. I mean, fine.
Who's a rapper or whatever I know that bugs the shit out of you that you guys have to play all the time?
I wouldn't say rapper because it's just Ariana Grande. Like, I'm just tired of her.
Yeah.
It just
she's so hot, but she seems like just a piece of fucking shit of a human.
She's that person, and this is what drives me crazy about it. She's the person who's like, she'll say something like, stop trying to drag me into Mac Miller's death. Like, don't use me for clickbait. And then it's like the next day she drops a song about Mac Miller. It's like you're telling people to not like drag you into these beefs, and then you start it then you're monetizing yourself with a song. It's like you just don't want other people monetizing your relationship with Mac Miller. But you want to monetize it.
Right. Do you guys have to talk about you guys have to talk a lot of shit like the TMZ kind of stuff. Like that's the stuff you guys have to report on, like Bad Baby or Bad Barbie.
Oh, the Cash Me Outside girl.
Cash Me Outside. She's got a bunch of songs out, doesn't she, right now?
Yeah, and those ones are pretty bad, too. Here's the thing. I kind of tune out during the music.
Right, yeah. When do you, you're like, I got to go get some lunch.
I take a walk. I take a walk. I have my headphones on. A lot of times I'm working on other segments because my job on the show is to be funny and to come up with ways to
where you can bring out the fun.
Yeah, to make things creative and to add another angle to arguments or to do you're just improvising. So I kind of check out during the music a lot, and that part of it with radio can be a little bit frustrating because we don't have a choice in the music. So it's like whatever the music director or program director are adding to the rotation and playing, you just got to play. So people will be like, hey, you guys are playing like 9 different Ariana Grande songs. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's not my choice.
Yeah, what do you want me to do? The program director said that's what we got to play. Do you get sick of playing Drake over and over and over and over?
Well, that's the thing. People say, and here's the statistics.
And another one.
Right, another Khaled song. It's like, the thing with radio is that they play the same 9 songs in like a power rotation because the average amount of time people are in their car or listening to the radio is only, like 13 to 17 minutes, depending on how long your drive is.
Right.
On average. Now, we have a lot of people that sit in traffic for 2 hours in Los Angeles because the market's so big. And
everyone's on their phone.
Right. So at some point, you hear the same songs over and over again, and it gets super redundant. So if you're annoyed, trust me, we're more annoyed.
Totally.
By just having to play that song. But we really have no choice. And we get in trouble for dropping songs. And we will if we're running long, like in terms of our show. And segments went long and something was funny and we have a good time. We'll be like, hey, we got to drop one. And we drop a Drake song that's in our power rotation. They get upset because, like, hey, we're all trying to get good ratings. Yeah. That's ultimately, you came back to, like, the money in radio. It can vary from, some of the richest people I've ever met in my life work in radio. And it's just they work in, syndicated in, like, 50 markets. and their big market, so like Atlanta, the show I was on in Atlanta,
Yeah.
the morning show was a 20 share, which means 20% of people in the market listening to radio are listening to that show, which is humongous.
That's
for Atlanta.
awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
What is it out here?
Right out here, like a monster out here would be like a 10 share.
That's it,
Which
huh?
10%.
Because everyone's probably on their phones
Well,
listening to another.
There's more stations
format.
out here. Well, there's also more stations in Los Angeles that are, legendary kind of heritage power stations. So you have like the hip hop station Power, and like you said, 92.3.
92.3, yeah.
They're also hip hop.
104.9.
Right, and then we have like alt stations. We have K-Rock, Amp versus Kiss. And, so Kiss is like maybe a 10 share. I think we were a 4.9.
Yeah.
So that's pretty solid for a station that, believe it or not, Amp's been around for like 13 years, but people still like, oh, that new station.
Yeah.
Because of just how people don't really pay attention to anything. They just kind of they go through their motions.
What was your first huge fuck up in radio? Because I remember I was in high school and I was doing the radio high school thing, and this teacher hated me for some reason. I hated my whole high school, and if they're listening, you guys can go fuck yourselves. My Miss Dwyer, she came in and she thought I said snort coke on the radio, and she pulled me.
Really?
Yeah, I got suspended for a day. My mom's like, "Did you say snort coke?" I was like, "No, dude, I'm in high school.
Yeah,
like, I don't
even know how you administer coke to yourself.
No, I'm like,
Snort,
dude, I know the people that do it, but I don't go to those parties. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm doing the radio. Why would I say snort coke while everyone's eating lunch? What was your biggest fuck up?
I had one in Atlanta that was strange, only because of the South. I was telling this story about doing a stand-up show, doing that. It was called Nick's Mom's Night Out. I don't know if you remember that show. It was on Nickelodeon. It was like a stand-up show they did for like 2 seasons.
Kinda.
And it was all women crowd. It was in New York.
Sounds awful.
I mean, like, these women were boozed up. So
that's fine.
yeah,
Or
in
they're all
terms
like
of
bachelorette parties. Like,
Well,
it's about me. Fuck you.
Here's the funny part about it, though, is like, so most of the comedians performing were women, and they were trying to tell mom stories and all that stuff. But then every time a guy would go up, the ladies would lose their shit because they're like,
take your shirt off.
So I'm telling this story on the
wind
air,
up.
and I'm like, I was kind of nervous to get up there, and then I got on stage and in front of the cameras and stuff, and this black woman goes, "Oh, goddamn!" and then all of a sudden, everyone in studio just lost their minds. Like, they're frantically. Our studio producer was running around looking, and he goes and hits the dump button, and everyone's like, "Oh!" And then I like finish the story, but I'm a little bit rattled because I don't know why everyone's so freaked out.
Right.
And they're like, "Dude, you can't say goddamn in the South." I'm like, really?
Wait, you said goddamn? Or she
I said goddamn.
Oh,
but
shit.
I was quoting her. I
Oh.
wasn't. But I was telling the story. But they're like,
Couldn't somebody give you a heads up and let you know?
Well, that's one of the ones that I just never really thought of.
Yeah.
I know you can't say shit, you can't fuck you
Yeah.
can't say all that stuff. And granted, there'll be moments where in your mind you almost let that fly.
What if you say gall dang? Is that still
Golly
too
gosh.
close?
Well, it's just weird because I know out here, if I said it on air, if I said goddamn in LA, it wouldn't be a dump button situation. There
Right.
might be somebody who's religious saying like, ah.
What's a dumb word that you guys have to dump sometimes?
We've got
Shizzle?
People got nervous. People get nervous about. Depends on what time of day. Like if you say bitch a little too hard, people get nervous. They get nervous. You see your producer like hovering over the button. Like okay, like how. Let's see how the rest of this. We have 8 seconds. How the rest of this plays out.
Yeah, bitch.
Like it's just strange.
Can't say
people,
pussy on the air, can you?
No, but today I said
Badussy?
I said pussy cow today
Pussy cow.
because we were
Oh,
talking
you
about.
changed it up.
No, what happened was we were talking about things that you just found out today that you always did wrong, right? And there's this commercial, this old Ford commercial that says, "Go see Cal, go see Cal, go see Cal." It's like this stupid-ass LA radio commercial.
Right.
And this woman texted and she's like, "I thought he was saying pussy cow forever." And I said it, and everyone looked a little nervous. I'm like, if we're dumping pussy cow, like this show
It's
is
toast.
This show is super pussy.
It's Ava.
And so, yeah, it's unbelievable. So, Pussy Cow was one that came close on. I haven't had too many crazy radio screw-ups.
Have you ever gotten into it with someone on the radio?
Oh, yeah, a bunch of times.
Like, give me an example, because I know a lot of people think they know everything. Like, I remember I was on stage, and I told one guy, I was like, in one of my jokes, I said I was drinking white wine playing Halo 2, and he goes, "It hasn't come out yet, man."
It's such a random thing to say.
I go, "Bro, fucking shut up, you tool." I go, "You're 40, homie. Sit down."
Like how look like do you have an alert on your phone?
He goes,
Like,
it hasn't come out yet.
I pre-bought it, Brady. I pre-bought it. It doesn't come out for 6 months.
Loser, bro. Go back to your parents' place.
The most I've ever gotten into it with people. Well, in the South, anytime I'd rip into Trump at all, I got into it with people because of how
you can't bring up politics anywhere,
it's so
anytime,
wild, man.
anywhere.
It's not even in a way where it's like, hey, can't we just try to make fun of the fact like. You weren't making fun of Obama. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I was, but he gave us less to make fun of him about.
Well, because also, yeah, he didn't sound like, like he didn't know what he was talking about.
Well, he wasn't on Twitter every damn day saying like asinine nonsense. So that I get into people a lot about it, and you libtard, snowflake nonsense. But then in this, like out here, I haven't gotten into it much with people because California is just so much more passive, and if people disagree with you, they'll text you about it. And
everyone also is so eager to jump on the bandwagon. So if like you're popular in the group and you disagree with this, then I'm going with you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's even like with comedy and politics.
Like I've gotten into arguments out here on radio with people, and they've just been like, "Oh, I see your point," and I'm like, "Oh, that doesn't make good radio." Like that's bad. In the South,
like you're right. I'll hang up and listen for your answer.
In the South, I got into a lot. I got into it probably the worst I've ever gotten into it with people on the air, and even with people in studio who are also kind of Southerners. I was telling a story about how I was at a wedding of one of the people on the show, one of the co-hosts on the show, and like her cousin said all she's ever wanted to be was a mom in life. And I was like, I mean, that's cool, but don't you like nothing else? You don't be something. I mean, you can be a mom too. Don't get me wrong, but
that's
like,
all she wants.
Yeah, but some people become a mom on accident. And that's your goal. Like that's your dream is to become a mom on
Casey
accident.
Anthony wanted to be a mom too, and see how that worked out.
Yeah, and then she like lived her dream, and she's like, oh, I'm done with that. I want to go back to clubbing and stuff.
Right.
But I was
Kill
like,
my kid. Fuck it.
Everyone started calling, going like, I can't believe it, Brian. Being a mom is the most amazing job, the most difficult job. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's not an amazing job. I'm saying you can also like do other shit.
Right. Yeah. You can
like,
put the baby in one hand and fucking make my damn food in the other hand, bitch.
Well, like, what if your whole thing was I'm gonna be a mom? Like, all I want to be is a mom, and then your kid ends up being like Charles Manson, and you're like, damn, my life's work.
Yeah.
All I ever wanted
Turns
to
out
do.
to be Damien.
Right. It's just some
shit.
demon monster. But because the South is so, I mean, man, the South is just so. There's a lot of hypocrisy when it comes to like religion and what people say. And right now, especially, they're doing like this heartbeat bill with abortion law where.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Right, it's going crazy because now it's like at 6 weeks you can't get an abortion. Some women don't even know they're pregnant for 7 weeks because they just don't. Right, like whatever, they weren't paying attention the last time they had their period or something. But the thing about it is like people in the South would be like, oh, every baby's a gift from God. I'm like, well, then why do you assholes slash every social service ever for anybody? Oh, so once they're born, they're no longer a gift. It's like, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, folks. Like, whatever. Good luck with that shit.
Totally. What do you like better? You like doing what you're doing now with 97.1, or did you like doing sports talk? Because I know you did sports talk too, right?
Yeah, I did sports talk in Seattle.
That's what I went to college for a year, and then I'm like, I'm gonna go model like a fucking douchebag.
Still get back into sports talk, and there needs to be more models in sports talk.
Listen, if Matt Rife and who's the other guy, Jeff Dye can do it, then I can do it. No, I'm joking.
Listen, sports talk. I liked sports talk. I liked it. I didn't like it as much when I was working in it in Seattle.
Did you find you were talking about the same shit over and over
every
again?
single day, man?
I mean, that's
like every day, and then also no one wants to talk about have a discussion about it or make it funny. They just want to hear your breakdown on Russell Wilson's potential holdout on a contract.
You think he's going to get traded?
Russell? I don't think he's going to get traded. I do think the Seahawks can and will pay him money. But I also think that the dude should get paid. All he's been doing is running for his damn life every single time they snap the ball to him.
They have no offensive line.
No, we put tight. Like, we're the only team that was like, oh, you played basketball?
This is the
juice we need. You played basketball in college at power forward? You could be a tackle? Like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
These are grown men.
That's what the Bears tried to do. They tried to get this kid Shaheen, this tight end, from a D3 school no one's ever heard of in fucking bumblefuck Indiana. And they're like, dude, he's 6'8", he's a freak athlete. Homie's he's on the third string team or whatever, like practice squad, and he was like our third round draft pick. But
I think like the thing that makes me crazy is that people demand sports talk. This is what made me crazy in sports talk was people demand such a higher level of human being like standard for an athlete, shit that they would never do in their own life. They'll be like, oh, come on, Russell, what are you not gonna? go play for you. Go. You want a promotion because Joe Flacco got one and you're better than him? That's bullshit. It's like dude.
This is coming from the guy that jumps off his roof and onto that table with a bunch of beer cans. And
Right.
puts it on his Instagram.
Exactly. And you would not hesitate to demand more money at whatever job you work at. But because Russell, like, come on, we're already paying you millions.
Yeah.
Or the one that always got me was, the guy wants 15? Dude, he's already getting paid like 9. What's the difference? I'm like, I don't know, 40% of the income.
Yeah, see, I had the guys in here from Dirty Sports. Do you follow Joe Prano and Andy Ruther?
Yeah, I know those guys.
You know those guys, right? So I was on their thing, and we were watching the NCAA tournament, and they had like an 8-day or like a 8-hour thing where they watched the whole first round or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Then they came up because I think everyone had a bunch of drinks in them, and they go, all right, Brady, what do you think, LeBron or Michael Jordan? And these guys are like stat nerds. Bro, I'm not a stat guy, but I know what I saw. I know what I saw.
Yeah.
And I've seen LeBron, I've seen Jordan. What is your take?
You know what, dude? I saw LeBron James play, and I think he's a freak, but I think he's such a pussy.
Totally.
Like, all he did...
Sitting out at the end of the season, do you think Jordan would do that?
I mean...
Jordan would do that. He would play every game. Dude, he was 38 years old, put 40 on him, and they weren't even in the playoffs when he played for the Wizards.
Like, Jordan had... Like, LeBron has been a freak forever. And he's been... LeBron is actually the guy who ended my dreams of becoming a professional basketball player.
Right.
I was playing in college...
Where?
In Laverne. I was playing at a small school. And I was like, you still have this delusional...
D3?
Like, D3. I'm like, but I'm a shooting guard.
Sure.
So whatever. I just got to fill it up
Got
here.
potential.
Just I'll be fine.
So is John
I was
Paxson.
sitting in a freshman year, I was sitting in the team room, and LeBron was on the cover of Sports Illustrated as a junior in high school. And I was like,
fuck.
That's a wrap, dude.
Totally.
That's it. The guy just killed my dream.
Dude, I remember when I was playing D3 football, and I've told the story a million times, but guy stepped on my big toe. It was sleet outside. It was in Wisconsin. It was right by the lake. Freezing fucking cold. Minus 15 degrees outside. Guy, this 400-pound lineman stepped on my big toe. Moote. It was the worst excruciating pain. I've had stitches. I've broken bones. I've had it all. It hurt so bad that I literally walked off the practice field, went to my locker room, took my helmet and shoulder pads off, never came back. My coach called me up. He goes, "You coming back to practice?" I go, "Absolutely not," and hung up the fucking phone.
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because the guys at the Dirty Sports were giving me such a hard time saying that Jordan is not the best NBA or best player ever to play. They're saying LeBron is. They're saying stat for stat, he's the best player. I'm like, homie's been in the NBA since he was 8 years old. So, yes, obviously his stats are going to be packed.
Well, also, here's the other thing, too. Like, if I said, if you're putting him in a one-on-one game, like LeBron's got him on height, strength.
Right.
All these other things.
They were saying Jordan, I don't mean to cut you off again, sorry, but they were saying Jordan's agility, like they said, the way he moved through the paint, they said is not how you teach basketball. I go, no shit, dude. That's the reason why he was the best guy to watch.
Oh, is that what we have to do? Because I want to know who taught Zion Williamson to jump over people.
Totally.
I mean, that's teachable, right? Like,
yeah, of course. Yeah, you've seen those videos of guys jumping over each other into the pool. Yeah, that's how you do it, right?
Well, the thing is, like, with guys like Jordan and I'd say Kobe, too, is that they just seem to want to win just because they hated you.
Sure.
It just seemed like the one thing LeBron doesn't have is an ability to actually hate the person he's playing against. Like, he looks like he's been winning his whole life in basketball, and he's like, yeah, I like it, it's fun, I'm better than you. But Kobe had like this, I want to embarrass you.
Yeah, Kobe wasn't like, what shoes am I going to switch out at halftime?
Right.
No. You play with the same shoes you have on, not because you have a contract with Nike and you have to wear 2 different shoes every fucking game. Like,
is that a thing? That's what LeBron has to do?
Oh, yeah. He has to switch out his shoes. So with the shoes he's wearing in the first half, he has to change out in the second half.
Just so more shoes get more airtime on television?
You betcha, baby.
So that's the thing. It's like you can compare stats all you want to with those guys. I just think if it came down to it, Michael Jordan hates you more than LeBron hates you. But LeBron seems like too nice a guy.
But here's the thing: LeBron is built like Zion Williamson. He's built like a 6'8" tight end. Jordan was not, and Jordan also fought. He fought against the bad boys, the Pistons. Like, my whole approach against that was like he played against in an era where if you went up for an easy layup, Larry Nance and Craig Elo is going to take you out from your legs.
Anthony Mason. You played against Anthony Mason.
Totally.
Anthony Mason doesn't even play in the.
If you had to come up with a person that looked like Venom, it was Anthony Mason, right?
Yeah,
he looked like a Marvel character.
Like Anthony Mason doesn't even make to the modern NBA because all he was in there to do was rough people up.
Yeah, I think the NBA now is just so cookie cutter. Everyone's like, I want to go play on your team. I'm not doing good over here.
I mean, you brought up an interesting point that I think is there's no stat column for how many punches you've thrown in a game, right? And there should be. Because I don't think you can be the best player in the NBA unless you've thrown a punch. Like in a game, you knew the consequences, and you threw a haymaker to try to take someone's head off.
Have you seen LeBron throw one punch?
I've seen him fall down when he gets pushed.
Dude, he gets pushed and then he goes like this.
He's got some of the worst falling down gifts.
Biggest flop.
Yeah,
but I think that's the problem with social media now. Like Dirk Nowitzki said, and I didn't mean to get on sports, but you're a sports guy, that's why I like talking about it. Dirk Nowitzki said, nowadays, players only play for clicks and likes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. When Jordan was playing, if Twitter was out, he'd be fucked.
Yeah.
He'd be so roasted.
I think with Twitter, with a lot of those guys in the NBA, I think that they grew up in an era where, one, the games were a lot more physical. People were doing a bunch of stuff that would trend the next day for how dirty a player they were. I mean, we knew guys were dirty, but you had to watch them on Saturday. You know, like when they had that triple header on NBC, you had to actually watch the game to see how dirty they were, or like their off-the-field activities. The guys now, you grow up in a world where one night you're out, next day you're trending on Twitter because someone got a picture of you making out with a girl at a club
like
in
Tristan
Miami.
Thompson's fucking making out with two chicks.
I don't even know.
Kardashian's like, I'm so hurt.
To bust people cheating in the 80s, like, you just had to, like, get lucky. Like, be in the same place or, like, hire a private investigator.
Didn't happen. There was guys, like, doing coke and drinking a bunch of booze the night before and going out and playing a game.
Right, you could just live your life and have fun. There's that stat about how bad teams on the road lose in Miami because they
really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
For a lot of times, and I know the Miami Heat, when LeBron was there, were, like, this dominant powerhouse, but also when teams flew in the night before in Miami,
the party,
they would always just get their asses handed to them the next day, which is why the Heat ran into a little bit more trouble in the playoffs, because the playoffs people are like, you know what, I don't need to go to South Beach tonight. I can probably just sit in my hotel.
That's like when guys go down for the Super Bowl back in the day in Miami. Remember what's his face got caught with like a hooker, one of the strong safeties for the Bucks or something, and then one of the offensive lineman just didn't go to the game because he got so fucked up.
Just whatever. Just, man, we made it. It was the hard part was making it. Nah, I don't really care. That's a whole other thing. That Super Bowl was. I've been to 3 now.
Have you really?
Just for radio, but that's for
I haven't been to one.
It's. I mean, the only one.
Paul, you ever been to one? Yeah, no.
I've been to 3, and I've seen the Patriots win each time, and I hate the Patriots. I hate them.
You hate them with a passion.
Yeah, I hate them.
Do you think they cheat?
The Patriots?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think every NFL team cheats.
Totally, but I think they're really, really good at it.
Yeah.
Like, Moote, you got to be honest. You know how fucking hard it is to win one Super Bowl?
Right.
You saw with the Bears and the double doink, dude. Like, we should have.
That's right, Cody Parkey.
Oh, did you know they just signed a guy on. His last name is Blewett with 2 T's.
As a kicker?
As a kicker. Blewett with 2 T's, double doink, 2 T's.
Why wouldn't you go by your middle name?
I was like, April Fool's, dude, right?
Yeah, if you're Blewett, why wouldn't you go by your middle name if you're a kicker? Just seems like a bad move. You just see those headlines like already setting up about how you blew it. Even if you're the greatest kicker in history, you miss one, you're still Blewett. You're still Blewett guy.
Dude, look at Scott Norwood. I still remember his name for the Buffalo Bills when they should have won that first Super Bowl. And then they went to 3. Can you imagine being a Buffalo fan going to 3 more Super Bowls and just getting kicked in the fucking nuts?
Yeah,
I would quit watching football. That's the reason why I hate sports now, dude. I hate it. As I get older, I'm just like the Cubs suck. I think the Cubs are going to be bad this year for some reason because our pitching is terrible. But I'm like, why am I invested in this shit? I should be invested way more in other shit than getting the baseball package. You know what I mean?
I think it's harder as you get older to care about sports, and I think that's probably why sports radio for me became so boring.
Like, did you care about the tournament at all?
Nah, man.
Did you fill out a bracket?
I did, because my cousin bet me like $10.
Yeah.
And I lost that for sure.
Right.
I enjoy watching games. I just don't really care anymore. I think it's because I have more things in my life to worry about. I think when sports, especially when you work in small markets. Or not smaller, but like markets that really care about sports.
Yeah.
It's because there's a lot of sadness, like in their personal lives. Right? Like in Seattle, even in Atlanta a little bit, but not as much because people just, they just care about SEC football down there. They don't care about pro football at all.
They don't care about the Hawks because the Hawks are just garbage every year.
And the Falcons, they didn't really care about either. They really only care about University of Georgia versus Alabama.
Were you there for the Falcons Patriots game?
Yeah, I was at
that Super Bowl.
I was at that game.
Awesome.
That was the saddest thing because the year before I'd gone to the Super Bowl and seen Russell Wilson throw that interception on the 1 yard line when they should have given it to Marshawn.
Brutal.
And that was painful. And then
to see the Patriots come back and beat the Falcons, you must be like, fuck,
dude.
You guys.
I felt it coming. I went out. So
I did too. I said this game's not over. As soon as
I got that 2-point conversion, I was like, man, Pat. I was with my brother Patrick, and I was like, I don't know if we need to charge our phones because we were trying to charge our cell phones, and it wasn't. It was like taking forever because all the power is being used in the stadium.
Just
for
one big ball of electricity.
Tiny little bit of, and I'm like trying to record it because I wanted to film it for the radio station in Atlanta. Like, yo, this is what it was like the end. And as soon as I got that 2-point conversion, I was like, nah, it's over. I was like, there's no way. Like, Tom Brady's going to do this to me again. And then this year, I went out to Atlanta for the Rams Super Bowl, and I just feel like Tom Brady personally hates me because every city I do radio in, they go to the Super Bowl. That city goes to the Super Bowl, and then Tom Brady beats him.
Do you think he gets one more? I think he gets one more.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
Dude, I think he plays till he's 45 years old. The guy is in the Illuminati. Mark my words. They're lizard people. I'm Alex Jones. This has been InfoWars.
Tom Brady's one of those guys who, if you ask me who wins in a basketball game, Tom Brady or LeBron James, I just think Tom Brady finds a way to beat him.
Oh, totally.
Like, I don't know how it's possible, but yeah, like in the offseason, he was doing some
kissing his kid.
Yeah, that shit is
weird.
He loves kissing everyone in his
family.
He loves
kissing his kid, especially when he's on his back and his kid gives him a kiss. Come on, guy.
The worst one is when his.
I kiss my dad on the cheek like a man.
Yeah, and even then,
I've dad on the lips, bro.
Yeah, even then, it's like you still kind of want to be like a little bit creeped out. You give your dad a kiss on the cheek, you're like, yeah, that was a man face.
But
right
it's
there.
like not even on the cheek. It's like back here a little bit.
Like
just
it's
a quick one. You're like, love you, pop.
Yeah. No, when he kisses his dad. I think he kissed Belichick too.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
kissing everybody.
Maybe I'm just inventing that because I just find it so weird that he like flat out just mouth kisses his 75-year-old father.
It's so gross. But his wife is so hot. But I love when she gets like in confrontations with people and she's like, "You don't even understand how hard he work. He's worked so hard. You have no idea." I sound like Spanish, but she's like Giselle's got that accent. What is she, Brazilian?
Brazilian.
Okay, that's pretty close. Pretty close.
You nailed it right on that.
Thank you. Alex Jones, InfoWars.
You nailed it.
Lizard people.
It's funny because she's like one of those accents where I'm sure she's smart, right? I'm positive she's smart.
Yeah.
Because she's hundreds of millions of dollars.
Listen, you're not finding Tom Brady by accident.
Right. She's as a human being, she's intelligent. But it's the same shit when like Melania speaks. It's like the accent just sounds dumb.
Yeah.
So they could tell me like I
love that Melania reads books to kids. She's like, "And the dog went up through the window," and everyone's like, all the kids are like, "What the fuck is this?"
Is that how you pronounce window?
Yeah.
No, it's window. Don't listen to this. Don't listen to this bitch.
She's the first lady.
Listen to
of Venezuela.
But it just sounds dumb. Like you hear it and you're like, I know you're a smart person, but in my mind I can't just stop like thinking you sound dumb because the words are coming out different.
Yeah, no. When she was reading those kids, she's like, "And the dog went over to the cot." And everyone's like, "Did you say cock? Did you just say cock?"
She's like, she posed it a little bit too. She's like, the cock.
The cock. Does Seattle get a basketball team in the next fucking 10 years or what?
I honestly don't
That's
think
bullshit because Seattle Supersonics were great. You guys have a soccer team and not a fucking basketball team?
You have a soccer team that sells out games too, which is crazy.
I hate soccer. Do you like soccer?
I gotta admit, it's exciting at times. I'm not into...
World Cup's okay, but the U.S. never can get in it. Like, how are we so bad? You've got 4 years to get it right. You can't get in there?
That was devastating for the U.S. That set us back a little bit, I think.
Brutal.
Because this last World Cup is...
I think Easter Ireland got in before the U.S.
I think it's sad, right? Didn't we have to beat? We just had to score a goal on Costa Rica.
We had to beat like fucking Brazil's like G League team.
Yeah, no, I think it was even sadder than that. I think we just had to not give up a goal.
Right.
We just had to like 0-0.
Yeah.
We're good. We make the World Cup. We give up one goal to Costa Rica or like some smaller country.
And we ate a dick again.
Listen, the soccer when the city's into it is fun because the fans are insane. Seattle.
What are they called again?
Like hooligan-y types or
Hooligans?
hooligans? No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But in terms of getting into it, I just can't ever get on board with a sport, and it sounds like so like America. Where do you tie? Like I hate that, and I hate the 2-game series where you win the game but you lose the series because they had a certain amount of road goals that you didn't score.
Right.
It's like that's just too complicated for this country to get on board with.
Totally.
We need a clear-cut winner.
What was the first sporting event you went to when you were a little kid?
I think the first one I remember was Kansas City Chiefs versus Seahawks.
Was it cold?
It was in the Kingdom, so it was fine.
Oh,
it
that's
was
good.
indoor. It was the old state. It was when the Seahawks were in the AFC, and I just remember being terrified of Christian Okoye,
Oh yeah,
the Nigerian nightmare.
He was the baddest.
Yeah, like he was a beast, and
I used to play him on Tecmo Bowl, and he was just like
He's a monster.
You
you just smash through. And that was the best when you pick a guy on Tecmo Bowl who's unstoppable.
like Lawrence
Taylor, Bo Jackson. Like they just
Walter Payton.
Right, like the game was just
The best.
so new, and so they didn't have any ability to really assess the player. So it's like
No.
like Bo Jackson's the best, and
Yeah,
then they just
100%.
no one could tackle him.
No.
Oh, there's so many broken controllers at my house because my brother he couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I kept
Did
going,
you guys ever get in fights over?
oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Were you guys Sega guys or Nintendo 64 guys? Or?
we were Sega guys, Sega Genesis. But when my aunt had a Nintendo, and that's where Tecmo Bowl was unstoppable. Where I just told him, I was like, "Hey man, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Like I've already showed you all the players in this game that are unstoppable, and you keep picking the Seahawks. You're a moron."
Dude, I went to the bar because they had a Tecmo Bowl like tournament, which is fucking retarded for complete losers and nerds, which I did it. I went. There were guys coming from out of town for this tournament, where I was like, "What?" This guy brought his girlfriend, and she was videotaping the whole thing.
Really, just Tecmo Bowl, like OG Tecmo Bowl.
Oh yeah, and they had it on the big screens, and they had multiple TVs. And I was like, "Bro, I am way out of my league. I thought we were just gonna drink some beers and have some fun."
Yeah, like that should be ridiculous.
No, this guy's like, "What team you picking?" I'm like, "I guess the Bears." He's like, "He can't pick the Bears, dude. He can't pick the Bears." Now I'm fighting like I'm back. I'm like 11 years
Why
old.
couldn't you pick the Bears? Because it had a player that was...
Because Walter Payton's so good.
Oh, that's right.
They were
okay.
so good. So you had
they
to
had
flip a
teams
coin.
you couldn't pick?
Right, you had to flip a coin, and that's the team you got is whatever it landed on.
Oh, that's fine. Well, that's the only way that makes sense. Because
Totally.
if you have Lawrence Taylor, it's the score ends up being like 66-0.
I was the Cleveland Browns, and I got crushed
That's
to
not,
pieces.
when you flip a coin, like the odds should be if you flip 50 times, once is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Because they're so terrible in those.
What was your first video game that you got as a kid?
The first game that we got was so my mom was a hippie lady.
Nice.
So she wouldn't let us have video games because she was like,
What's your mom's name?
Joanne.
Fuck yeah.
Joanne wanted
Joanne
us
Moote.
to go outside and like she was like, why would you guys sit indoors and play video games?
We've been playing basketball for fucking 5 hours.
That's all we had. I mean, I lived on a farm. We had 17 acres.
Yeah.
So she'd be like, just go explore. Just go explore.
You know what? Nowadays, your parents are like, "Don't go. Let me see you. You
Right.
stay in front of
No,
the house."
she was-
Nowadays, you don't go explore. Back then, like when I was younger, we used to go back in the woods. You wouldn't find us until it got dark.
Right. And you'd hear like, oh shit, I just heard her whistle.
Right.
I gotta go.
Totally.
So she wouldn't let us play video games. We didn't have any video games. I remember that Nintendo 64 came out, and she broke down and let us get a Sega Genesis. And so I was like, people come to my house and be like, oh, this is so boring. We're just playing Deion Sanders primetime football and like Mortal Kombat and stuff. But
Yeah.
other game like James Bond was already out.
Yeah.
And so no one really. So I was just always so bad at video games. Like,
So was I.
Once they added the joystick thumbs, I was like, yeah, dude, I can't do this.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not coordinated enough, which is sad when you're like an athlete and you pride yourself in being competitive and you're like, I can't figure out, all my fingers can't do this.
Right.
many
Yeah.
things.
You have to do the L and then the R and then there's a back L and R and then you have to do the joystick thing and then the pad and you're like, I'm good with A, B and then the
Yeah,
left thing.
that's it.
That's about as far as I can go.
And then I pin you in a corner and I tap that button as many times as possible.
Right. And if I lose, then I'm gonna beat your ass.
I'm gonna unplug
better
your
run
controller.
out the door, yeah.
I will pull an old school move where I do that. We got my godson an Xbox. He's 12. Got it for him for Christmas. and-
Recently?
Yeah, we got it for
Cool.
him, and he's got Fortnite, and for
Which I can't figure out. Paul, you play that
Dude,
shit?
It
No.
is. Fortnite is one of those games where I just gave up immediately. He's building stairs and walls and all this shit, and I was just enraging little kids on the internet. It actually was really fun. I would find balloons, right? You get these balloons and you just blow them up and you just hover
yeah.
above the whole world.
Isn't it kind of like Hunger Games? You got to kill each other?
Yeah, it's like a
That's
battle
terrifying.
royale kind of situation. But
terrifying.
I would just hover above and let everyone else kill themselves.
That's smart.
And I would just like float down with like
Did you have a headset where people talk shit to
Yeah,
you?
they were so mad at me.
Dude, get down, dude.
Who's that guy up there floating around? Who's that guy up there? And I'm just loading up on balloons, and they're getting so pissed. And I'm like, and then they'd be trying to they'd be killing each other. I remember one time I finished in a 100-person battle. I finished third, and it's only because somebody's got lucky shot and got me out of the sky with like a rocket or something. But my godson and all his friends and everyone online were like, dude, who's this pussy? He's just floating around. Come on, come down from there. I'm like, nah, man, this is my wheelhouse. I just hover around.
Right.
And then I'd start to go down and I'd blow more balloons up. I'm like, fucking with you guys.
Do you ever play Grand Theft Auto and just ride around and just kill everybody?
I think that's what that game ends
terrifying
up.
too.
Yeah, I mean, that's what that game ends up being 5 minutes after you start playing. You're like, oh, I'm going to do the missions. And you're like, what do I do? I'm just going to run over hookers.
Yeah, I'm just going to shoot people and then go on awful, scary police chases that you only see in movies.
Right, and just like you see how hot you are with like the stars.
Yes.
And you're like, duh, I'm all over 5. My brother's like, they're going to shoot you, man. I'm like, whatever, dude. They can't catch me. I'm going down to like
People
South
just
Beach.
screaming. People are screaming because you're running over them. You're do, 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 do,
It'll be funny when you just like pull someone out of their car and just beat them to death and not even take the car. It's like such a terrible. I mean, those games. That game was when it came out. I was like, man, if my mom ever even knows this game exists, she's gonna be mortified at humanity.
Totally. So you work from 6 to 10. Is it hard getting up at 6 a.m.? Because I know I cannot.
Yeah, it's the worst. Every day, it just becomes a thing where you just have to go get out of bed.
Yeah.
But then I always try to remind myself, and it doesn't happen all the time.
You have a job.
Yeah, that. The only time it's really hard is when I'm hungover, so I try not to
That's
drink during the week.
No. Especially as we're older now.
Yeah.
Like that hangover just sits with you for a while.
But I will say, like, going from being a broke-ass stand-up to having, when I moved to Seattle to do a morning show for the first time, and I was on a contract that
great.
had insurance and paid money. I lived above the comedy club in downtown Seattle. I showed
That's
up.
fucking great.
Yeah, I showed up for work for the radio show hungover probably 80% of the time.
Oh.
Because I just was out I just wanted to do shows, man. I just wanted, and you know, you get so used to living in squalor, then you get like one check that has a comma in it every
and you're
other
like,
week.
you know what, I'm going to get a new couch.
Yeah, that's
and a new
real.
ottoman that doesn't look like someone sliced it with a knife.
One time I just bought a green screen with lighting and just had it in my apartment. I didn't even know how to do it. I just I had a green screen and my bed next to each other, and it was just set up like it looks like I was trying to shoot porn where I could be like, where do we want to put this? In Rome?
You're just updating the weather at all times.
Yeah, that's it. Just right behind me is like 63 and sunny, and there's
Like,
just
all
some
right,
fucking going
today
on.
in Seattle's gonna be raining. Back to you.
But I do try to remind myself that, like, when I was teaching special ed before I started stand-up.
Oh, I forgot you did that.
Yeah, bro. I would get up.
I've taken a couple of those classes.
I think a lot of us were in those like behavior disorder ones. I know I had to do for a while. I had to take special ed classes on to help me with handwriting because I was born with my hands are like the same size they were now when I was 7.
What?
So I have
your basketball coach was like, this is the guy.
Yeah, they thought I was gonna be 9 feet tall. You're
still pretty tall.
Yeah, 6'4", but I had size 14 shoes and monstrous hands as a 5th grader.
Just crushing kids.
But I couldn't write with a pencil or anything.
Oh, really?
Which now doesn't matter because no one writes shit anyway.
See, I was terrible at math. Awful, awful, awful. Like they thought I was literally retarded.
Math is one of those things. But here's the thing. Some of the math you learn when you're young is so useless. I've
totally algebra. Do you use algebra ever?
When the hell would I ever need to know what the Pythagorean theorem is?
Right, or geometry. Listen, I'm not trying to build a stadium. I'm not trying to build a table at my house.
Which is interesting because you're an artist, so I would think that visual, you're good with visual, visual spatial
colors.
Stuff.
I get.
Yeah.
This stuff I get. For some reason, it's like Rain Man. I can do this. I'm doing a painting for Adam Ray right now, and he wants Fozzie Bear, right? He wants a big one like Theo's got in the back of his, so he can use for his podcast. And I was like, Fozzie Bear looks like he has he's made out of like a broom.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, I'll just get a sponge. So I took a sponge and I just started doing sponge on it.
Just dabbing it all over?
Yeah, to look like it's a broom. I don't know how I thought of that, but I just got it.
See, art's one of those funny...
Like you with radio. You just get it.
Art's one of those funny things, though, that maybe this is like this for a lot of stuff, but you're really good at it for a while when you're young, and then you stop doing it, and your skills stay exactly where they left off, right?
For sure. But like I never did it when I was younger.
Art at all?
At all.
When did you just find out that that was a thing you're good at?
32, 5 years ago.
What?
Yep.
That's insane, because the thing about like the portraits and stuff that you do are you have to have a really good eye for, you know, how far away this eyeball is from this eyeball and this nose and this face and how the jaw works, because otherwise you look at you ever see somebody take one of those like wine and painting classes and I've
done that. I used to teach them.
What, really?
Oh, I was terrible at it. I can't teach someone this.
No.
You know how much Adderall and white wine took into that? Fucking terrible.
You're like, that's the key to art, guys. Adderall and white wine. I don't know what happened. I found it.
Dude, I remember I was up there teaching it, and I was going like this, and I said wispies, and this guy goes, he said fucking wispies. I was like, all right, assholes.
Well, I'm getting heckled in my...
I'm not trying to roast you guys. I'm trying to show you paintings, okay? I'll go in if you want me to go in. Relax. Take a seat.
You're like, you open your...
Enjoy your charcuterie plate.
Do I come to your fucking place of work and just knock the dicks out of your mouth, or one of those, like, hacky road things?
I like to do word association at the end because I think it's fun. These are my sides for an audition that I didn't get. Dirty Dan. I played a radio DJ, and I had to do self-tape, and it went really good, but they must have gave it to someone else.
Is it, what? Well, let me ask you more
Oh, I had to
about
play
that.
a radio DJ. How ironic.
That's really interesting. Like, which one was it? Because I've gone in for radio DJ parts, too, and they're like, can you be more? I'm like, oh, you want me to be... you
want me to be like this?
Like a caricature.
Hey, yeah, this is K-Rock.
Yeah. Playing the hits. Hey, it's 63 and sunny outside.
This is B. Sweezel.
Hang in there. Gotta be honest, traffic's not looking good, but that's all right by me.
What's your DJ name again?
Just Brian.
No, but I know.
Oh, Moote Clan. DJ Moote.
All right, DJ Moote Clan. Here we go. We're going to end on this. Word association. Here we go. Bees.
Honey. I should have said Wu-Tang, dude. Wu-Tang, killer bees
on
the swamp.
See, there you go. Grass.
Working.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cutting. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah, you did grow up on a farm.
Smell of
grass,
dude.
Grass. He's like, I don't want to talk about
it. Yo, pushing a lawnmower every summer for 10 hours.
God. Ebola.
Don't die.
Okay, balls.
Baskets. Basketballs. I'm so bad at this.
That's fine. There's no right or wrong.
It's just you feel awful.
Gym.
Death. Running lines.
Good. Porn.
Oh my God. Free.
Great.
Face for that shit.
Sweet.
Tea, but that's just now I'm just saying shit.
So what? Nice.
LeBron. It's too nice.
Nice. I like
that.
Bitch,
get an attitude.
All right. End on neighbor.
Oh, I hate them.
Yeah, neighbors. Oh, mine are the worst. I was telling you the guy talking around his swimming pool with his fucking headphones on like this. That was his basically his earbuds, walking around like he was Gordon Gekko, just talking super duper fucking loud. I go, hey bro, shut the fuck up, dude. People are trying to sleep. He goes, it's 10 a.m. I go, people have night jobs, you dick.
Yeah, it's L.A., man. What do you mean?
And he goes, ooh, shut his door, fucking douche.
I had some crazy ass neighbor when I lived in over by Runyon Canyon, and we had this black dude who was he was a nut. But he liked me. I was cool with him, but he was a fucking.
All those people are nuts over there.
He was a nut, yeah. And he was like aggressively crazy, but he was like the kind of guy where I've seen him like all over L.A. And every time I see him outside of that building, he had no idea who I was. I had to be in that environment for him to recognize me. And he would snap on people. Like, no one came door to door to us because I guess there was an incident. And so, like, no one would come, like, knocking on our doors and stuff because this guy would snap. But one time I heard him going, like, Herbal Essences! Herbal Essences! Bitch, you think I smell bad? And she's like, no, I'm just,
What time was that?
It was like, I was probably like 8:30 in the morning.
Sure, why not? Because it's their world, dude. Fuck it.
And she's like, why are you coming to my door about herbal essences? And she's like, no, I'm going to everyone. He's like, well, bitch, don't stay away from this building. You think this building smell bad? And I'm like, wow, this poor girl. I want to see her face. Like, that's when she quit door-to-door sales of herbal essences.
I love it. Dude, thank you for doing the podcast. That has been DJ Moote Clan.
Moote Calabees on the swamp.
I've been Brady Matthews. Thank you, Paul, for everything. That's been my first. Brian, thank you.